迎收看今天的汉天新闻，我是施方圆。首先来看美国国内消息。休斯顿警方称，当地时间周四在下班高峰时段，拥堵的10号洲际高速公路上发生了一起枪击案件。一名嫌疑人手持 AR-15 自动步枪开火，导致2人死亡，而嫌疑犯目前还在逃离。警方正在大规模搜捕嫌疑犯，并寻求更多相关线索。
This is a scary event to happen at 6 o'clock at night in a busy freeway.
A targeted attack on the East Freeway.
One vehicle ran the other. It spun that vehicle out.
A car with 2 men inside, police say, hit the silver sedan, spinning it around. And as it rolled downhill, both suspects got out. One got people's attention.
They arrived at the driver shooting, Hispanic male, tan shirt, holding a really big gun, shooting at another car.
One of the witnesses saw the weapon. He said he's familiar with firearms and he believes it was a AR-15.
Police say as the victim's car rolled towards the gunman, he fired multiple rounds. Both men inside were killed. According to police sources, a large trash bag with marijuana was in their car. Investigators are looking at all possible motives.
Road rage, an accident, narcotics, we just don't know yet.
The suspects took off, leaving behind a crime scene on the freeway. Police are asking for the public's help. What some drivers may have thought was just an accident turned out to be deliberate.
Call HPD and please let us know what you saw. The slightest thing could help us.
日前，美国总统川普亲自到访，慰问了发生枪击的德州与俄亥俄州2处城市。在德州埃尔帕索，他的发言引发了一定争议。川普总统抱怨当地民众参与总统竞选投票的人非常少。之前，埃尔帕索和戴顿的民众也表达过，他们不欢迎总统到访的言论。
Tonight, some of President Trump's own aides are conceding his visits to 2 cities in mourning didn't go as planned after new video shows him bragging about crowd sizes while at a hospital in El Paso.
We met with also the doctors, the nurses, the medical staff.
The White House stopped reporters and their cameras from capturing the president's visit, but new cell phone video shows Trump praising medical staff before turning the conversation to himself.
I was here 3 months ago. We made a speech, and we had a what was the name of the arena? That place was packed, right?
I was front row.
Right? The judges have respected.
I was front row.
What was the name?
I was front row there.
Oh, good. Come here, man. That was some crowd.
Thank you for
And we had twice the number outside. And then you had this crazy Beto. Beto had like 400 people in a parking lot. They said his crowd was wonderful.
The president bragging about how many people attended his February rally, where he boasted of booting undocumented immigrants from the country.
They go into our country. The good news is we have great law enforcement, and many of these people, we know where they are, and we're going to get them the hell out.
The president still owes the city of El Paso over $500,000 in unpaid fees for police use and public safety costs for that trip. CNN has learned that Trump lashed out at his staff for keeping the cameras away during his visits to 2 hospitals, complaining he wasn't getting enough credit, though aides said it was out of respect for the patients. The Washington Post reports that none of those 8 patients at one Texas hospital Trump visited agreed to meet with him, while 2 who had been discharged did return for his visit. The president's trip now being followed about new questions on what's next for gun control. Trump has told aides and lawmakers he's open to endorsing extensive background checks.
I think background checks are important. I don't want to put guns into the hands of mentally unstable people.
It's a position he's taken before, but never followed through on.
We're going to be very strong on background checks. We'll be doing very strong background checks.
We certainly have to strengthen background checks. Everybody agrees with that.
We're really, I think, going to have the support of the NRA having to do with background checks, very strong background checks.
New reporting might explain why.
There's no bigger fan of the Second Amendment than me, and there's no bigger fan of the NRA.
CNN has learned the president has spoken with NRA chief Wayne LaPierre several times in recent days. And LaPierre warned Trump his supporters in deep red areas don't want expanded background checks. The NRA spent more than $30 million to get Trump elected in 2016, according to financial records, and has swayed him on gun control in the past.
I mean, they're very close to me. I'm very close to them.
当地时间8日，密苏里州一名男子身穿防弹衣，手持战术武器，全副武装走进一家沃尔玛超市，引发了巨大的恐慌。正在超市购物的人群立刻仓皇逃离。警方很快到达现场，逮捕男子，并称他身上的武器已经上膛，并备有超过100发子弹。针对他的审讯正在进行之中。
What started off as a normal trip to Walmart turned out to be anything but.
A real loud siren goes off for like a second, and then they say, suspected fire, possible fire, exit immediately. And there's an employee standing there, and I was like, looked at him like that, and he's like, I don't know. And this lady was screaming at us, she's like, get out now, get out, get out.
A heavily armed man wearing body armor was inside the store.
He certainly had the capability and the potential to harm people.
No shots were fired and no one was injured, but the situation was tense.
There were a lot of people hiding outside behind these barriers and businesses, and it was pretty chaotic for a couple minutes.
An armed off-duty firefighter detained the man and police took him into custody.
Hopefully my actions prevented something like El Paso from happening.
If it wouldn't have been for that guy, who knows what could have happened today.
Police are seeking the motive for his actions and no word yet on possible charges. Missouri law allows people over the age of 19 to openly carry a legally obtained firearm. However,
his intent was not to cause peace or comfort to anybody that was in the business here. In fact, he's lucky he's alive still, to be honest.
We're being terrorized by our own citizens, and it has to stop.
I'm John Lawrence reporting.
俄亥俄州戴顿市的枪击案件最终造成9人死亡的惨剧，凶手是一名24岁的男子。日前，记者采访到了当天参与紧急救援的警察与消防人员。他们面对镜头展示了自己平时受到的训练，以及专业人员在面对这种极端情况下时是如何做出第一反应，尽量降低人员的伤亡的。
Dispatch, we got shots fired. We got multiple people down. We're gonna need multiple medics.
It's what they're trained to do: respond to emergencies and save lives.
Obviously, fires, fire alarms, medical emergencies, car wrecks, things of that nature.
But when the men and women of the Dayton Fire Department went to sleep at their station Saturday night, none of them could have imagined the call they were about to receive.
At Winch Street, for an active shooter incident. For engine 15, engine 2, engine 4, engine 8, East Chief, ISU, ladder 11, ladder 14, medic 11, medic 13, medic 14, medic 16.
I was here in bed, woke up with the initial tones and headed out the door.
Members of Dayton Fire's 1st Platoon responding within minutes. CNN getting the exclusive opportunity to speak with the men and women of Station 11, the closest station to the Oregon District.
Tones dropped and I thought it had to have been something really bad. And then I looked down at the computer and I saw that it said mass casualty, and I thought it was a mistake. I couldn't hardly believe something would happen like that here.
District Chief Adam Landis helped run the fire and EMS response that night.
Just to be clear, the cops are the heroes in this. They did an outstanding job of neutralizing the threat. The crews that had boots on the ground that were in there doing what they did, they did an outstanding job.
Landis' team falling back on its training. Firefighters, paramedics, and EMTs jumping into action to start the triage process and get victims to nearby trauma centers as quickly as possible.
When we got on scene, we were part of the initial search and triage team to find victims, patients, and treat them accordingly.
You fall back on your training. We got the information that we had and had to develop a plan, which is exactly what we had trained for. We've trained with Dayton Police. We've trained with the surrounding departments on these types of situations. So we were prepared for it, and we put that plan into place, and it worked very well.
9 lives lost, dozens more injured. These first responders doing everything in their power to save lives.
Obviously, we all wish we could have done more than we did, but yeah, I'm happy with, I think it was the best outcome we could have hoped for.
A horrible situation that hit these men and women very close to home.
Tragic outcome, but we saved a lot of lives that night.
How proud are you
Extremely. And we've talked about that, and I told them I was proud of everybody there. You know, everybody hit their marks. The training that's been conducted over the last several years in preparation for events like this, it all paid off. The guys did extremely well. They did just like they were trained to do, and yeah, very proud, very proud.
The Dayton Fire Department going beyond the call of duty.
俄亥俄州警方目前正在调查一起纵火事件。警方的录像拍摄到了房屋遭遇爆炸袭击的瞬间，场面惊人。调查人员在车库墙上发现了种族歧视标语的喷漆，并正在调查房屋曾发生的其他犯罪事实，认为这里存在种族歧视的犯罪的可能。
New body camera video shows Wayne County deputies responding after the home in the village of Sterling exploded and burst into flames. The interracial couple who owned it, Brad and Angela Fraze, were staying at a hotel while the house was being renovated. But when they arrived on the scene, they told the deputy racial slurs were spray painted on their garage.
A neighbor just pointed it out to me.
The whole house is gone.
I look at my husband, I said, what do we do? Where do we go from here? You know what I mean? I don't even know where to start.
The fire, ruled an arson, has caused concern in the small community and gained national attention because of the possibility this was also a hate crime.
It's a scary thought for a lot of people in this county, and yeah, I think our level of concern is jacked up to 10.
Investigators say samples taken from the rubble are being tested in a state lab to figure out what type of accelerant was used, and detectives are digging deeper into other recent crimes at the home.
It seems that there's a series of wrongdoings that are taking place surrounding this home.
Last week, the couple reported someone smashed a rear window and then damaged several light fixtures, a toilet, and a television inside. Mr. Fraze told a deputy he suspected kids.
I know it's just stupid kid stuff.
Yeah, but this is your property. You feel violated.
And like I say, we haven't had the best of luck.
And then, just 2 days ago, emergency crews came to the home after someone tried to blow it up by filling it with natural gas and turning on a stove burner. The gas company removed the gas meter. Electricity has been shut off for a month.
This burner is on. Okay. Right. All right. And we was here yesterday afternoon.
And just 13 hours later, someone blew up the home where the couple had lived for 23 years. Tonight, the NAACP of Worcester and Orrville, along with Wayne County detectives, want to know who was behind the horrible crime.
We're going to do our best to let whomever did this heinous act know that we're not okay with this.
At this point, we've not ruled anyone out as far as a suspect. It would be premature to say who we suspect.
一名来自印第安纳州的男子目前正在面临刑事指控。周三，他上庭被控杀害了一名阿拉斯加州的青少年，而受害者的亲属日前面对镜头时表示，希望凶手能够得到公正的审判，他们期待着死刑的判罚。
Courthouses and courtrooms. That's where Cynthia Hoffman's parents know they'll be spending their time in the coming months, possibly years.
What's it like? It's going to be a bunch of rounds from now until it's over, but I won't miss one.
Darren Schillmiller is one of 6 people charged in the murder of their daughter, 19-year-old Cynthia Hoffman. Unlike his teenage co-defendants, Schillmiller doesn't live in Alaska. According to court documents, the 21-year-old from Indiana convinced 18-year-old murder suspect Denali Bremer he was someone else online. A millionaire willing to spend big on a killing, a crime he wanted documented with photos and videos.
I think they all ought to cry, even the teenagers, to make a decision they made, to make the plot they plotted, to plan out my daughter's death. That's not being a teenager. That's being an adult. They all ought to be tried as one.
While Schillmiller wiped tears from his eyes at his arraignment in federal court on child pornography charges, Timothy Hoffman kept his composure.
I wanted to stand up and tell the judge that was my daughter. But this case is about child pornography. And so until I have the right to stand up and say something, I'll keep my calm.
He believes that opportunity will come Friday, when Schillmiller is scheduled to appear in state court to be arraigned on murder charges. Daniela Rivera, KTVA 11 News.
休息一下，马上回来。